Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar as we discuss the 2025 National Patent Application Drafting Competition. We are excited to bring this competition to you again this year. This is our fifth year in a row since beginning 2020 when it was a national competition, but we do have some history starting in 2016 as an international competition. So we are excited again to get going with this year's competition. So, welcome to those returning teams and those returning schools, and a special welcome to those that are new to the competition this year. We are always excited as this competition continues to expand across the nation, and we are looking forward to your participation this year. We're quite excited about the invention statement that will be rolling out soon. But let's go ahead and jump into today's webinar and get started. If you joined us before, of course, you know that we will start with a brief introduction, and I've spoken to that just a little bit, but I'll cover some additional details. We'll talk about the competition timeline, and what seems to be really helpful is to review the web page and registration, and then some general question and answer. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded, so just being mindful of any questions that are entered into the chat. And if you are viewing this as a recorded webinar, you will be able to reach out to the committee at npadc@uspto.gov for any additional questions. So again, let's jump into this introduction. And as an introduction to the competition, and perhaps I should back up just a bit. For those of you, my face may be familiar, I'm the Regional Outreach Officer for the Midwest Elijah J. McCoy Regional Outreach Competition. The leadership of this competition has also included the Rocky Mountain Regional Outreach Office in past years. And so, again, we're excited to bring this back to you all. As an introduction to the competition itself, the National Patent Application Drafting Competition, it is a competition for law students and students studying patent law. Again, it started as that regional competition in 2016, which included North America and Canada, and it has since expanded to a national competition to include all of our regional offices. And we do have schools participating as far as from Hawaii to Puerto Rico, Alaska, and in the continuous United States, as well as Canada. And so the competition is conducted in accordance with rules of the competition. And so those rules, and we'll talk a bit more about where the competition's website resides online and where you can read a copy of those rules. So the objectives of the competition is to learn valuable patent skills, which includes claim drafting, um, preparing your patent application drafting competition, of course. It does allow you to experience firsthand what patent attorneys do. You'll work with coaches who have decades of patent experience, and our coaches are always excited to lend that experience to our teams. This will also be an opportunity to showcase um, your writing samples as part of the application submission. And it does allow you to also gain experience for your job interviews. Of course, having been a part of this competition for several years now, it is always exciting when our teams return, especially when some of our previous participants return as coaches. And we do get that feedback that team members have been able to use this experience as part of their job interviews and successfully secure those jobs. So I can't make any guarantees, but I can certainly encourage and again let you know that there is a benefit to participating in this competition. So let's take a real quick look at the competition timeline. So registration is currently open and it ends November 9th. In prior years, depending on the demand, we may expect that the registration period is extended. However, right now it's planned for November 9th, and registration is on the ZFairs online platform. ZFairs is our competition website that we've used now for the past few years, and I will walk through that briefly, what that site looks like, where you can find it, and the registration process. After registration closes, there is an announcement of the invention statement. And this invention statement is a hypothetical invention that will serve as the basis for the competition and for the draft patent application. Once you receive the invention statement, teams will begin a search of the art and document preparation. The patent application that is drafted must be in accordance with U.S. patent law. And there are some competition specific limitations as per the rules. Again, and we identified the rules of the competition, which is also posted on the ZFair site. It will include a search strategy summary, an application drafting strategy summary, information disclosure statement, and slides for oral presentation. Pardon me, I went back. There are two rounds of judging. The first round of judging is a regional round, and that will take place on our online platform, WebEx, which you're joining me on today. Teams will compete within the five regional groups. There will be a team presentation, slides that you present based on your patent application. And the winners of each regional round will advance to the national round. This year, our regional round takes place on Saturday, March 1st, 2025, from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. local time for each region. And I do just want to emphasize that a bit. We have had teams that may be participating from, say, for instance, the central time zone, and they may be placed to compete within the Midwest region, for instance, which is in the Eastern time zone. You do want to be mindful with which regional office that you're placed with, because the competition will be based on the um, time zone for that regional office and that regional round. So just be mindful of that. Again, I don't want you to join an hour late or an hour too early. I want you to join right on time to be able to compete in that regional round. You will receive notification for which round you are assigned to, and we work diligently to make sure that you are closely aligned within your school's time zone, but not any more than about 2 hours time difference. When you're competing in the regional rounds, you can expect a morning judging session, which is a preliminary round of team presentations and questions. Those top three teams per region advance to regional round finals. There will be a lunch and a networking session, and then the afternoon judging sessions, in which those top three teams from the morning judging sessions will compete, and then a regional finalist will be selected and advance to the national finals. During your judging sessions, you will present before a panel of current active attorneys and legal practitioners. So just being mindful that, again, in addition to your coaches imparting their experience, they're prepping you to go before attorneys who are currently prosecuting um, patent applications. As you prepare for national finals, you may receive supplemental documents such as prior art identified during the regional round, and this would be provided to you before nationals. As a result, your claims may be amended in light of the provided additional documents. And again, you would want to refer to 37 CFR 1.121, and keeping in mind you cannot introduce any new matter. Your team presentation for national finals can be updated. So again, your regional round documents, particularly your claims, may be amended in light of any additional documents. and your team presentation can be updated to reflect those documents provided by the committee, but no new matter may be introduced. Once you're at national finals, so which is always fun, it is in person, and it takes place at USPTO headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia. Um, that will take place Friday, April 4th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Um, you should note that our travel, meals, accommodation costs are all at the expense of your competitors or at your university. So the USPTO does not cover any of those costs to participate in person at Alexandria, Virginia. You may, with some exception, request a waiver for virtual participation. However, in person is the expectation. At that time, team presentations take place in front of a panel of 3 judges. After all teams have presented, there will be final deliberations, followed by an awards and reception ceremony. Last year, we were excited because our Commissioner for Patents, as well as our Deputy Director of the Patent and Trademark Office, was able to join us. And we anticipate those special guests joining us for those photo opportunities, well wishes, encouragement, and congratulations for our team. So it's always exciting to have everyone come together in Alexandria for that occasion. So we are looking forward to that. So just really quick, I'm going to turn to the web page, as we otherwise refer to as Z-Fairs, and walk through the registration process. The competition webpage is hosted by our Z-Fairs online platform. The website you can see is posted below, and it is also included on the event page on the Patent and Trademark Office's website. The Z-Fairs online platform is the site where registration will take place. You will submit your documents, which is your completed patent application, as well as your team presentation. It will also contain key information, including key dates, any updates to the competition, and any other pertinent information relative to the competition. Again, important dates, as well as links to our webinars. So in addition to housing this webinar, it will also contain links for our upcoming claims drafting and patent searching webinars. Again, as a demo, when you do land on the ZFair site and you click register, this will start your registration process. So if you are the first person from your team, after you complete registration, you'll receive a confirmation email, and I'll show you what that looks like. That includes a link and a project ID. It will be pertinent to hang on to this and forward this to your other team members, including your coach, so that ZFairs can bring your registrations together as a team. If you are registering and it starts from a link or project ID, you would proceed with registration. So as you open this up, you create a unique username. You would include your first and last name and your email. And again, this will be the best email that we can reach out to you for the competition. So whether that is your school email or your personal email, again, this is where all correspondence will be received. We ask that you do not include a photo, but that in fact you do provide us with a phone number that you can be reached the day of the competition. We do know that sometimes there are IT glitches. We may need to reach out to you for any reason. If your team advances to national finals and there are some changes in location and such, again, this needs to be the phone number where we can reach you and provide pertinent information. It will only be used for those purposes. In addition to your unique username, you will create a password and make sure you jot this down. I know it sounds like you don't need that, but you will need that password to return to complete registration, to also be able to submit your documents and such. So you want to make sure that you jot this down. We often get a lot of requests for password resets, so just make sure you keep this in a safe place. You will be asked a number of questions as a competitor. Is what is your role on the team? And so you'll see shortly you can either select competitor or coach. You want to include your school zip code and your school time zone. Again, this will be your school time zone. Like I said, it may differ from how you compete in the regional round, but please select the time zone that your school is currently in. And then you want to answer, is it okay to share your contact information with judges? And again, as I mentioned earlier, judges are legal practitioners and active attorneys. Sometimes they may want to reach out to you for internship opportunities or job opportunities. And so, again, considering that when you're answering that, is it okay to share your contact information with the judges? And then including a phonetic pronunciation of your full name, please. And I will say I do see some questions are coming in into the chat. I will be sure to take time to answer those. So my apologies if I'm proceeding at this moment, but I will double back and answer those questions. And on this screen here, again, you will just see the difference between competitor and coach. Teams are limited to one coach per team and anywhere from 2 to 4 competitors. So those would be the law students that would select competitor. You will proceed. When you're asked to select your school, there are a number of schools already pre-populated in this drop-down list. And so please select it if it appears there. If you are a brand new school to the competition, again, welcome. You can expect that your school may not be listed, and there will be an option for you to type in your school. And again, this is where it will be important for a competitor registering for the first time if they receive that competition email to share it with their team members so that all of that registration information, including your school name, will remain consistent across the teams. On the next screen, you will have a chance to enter your team name. And the category here, you'll actually drop down and it'll say the 2025 patent competition. You will select that this is a team project. For your team name, we do utilize the team names during the regional rounds. So, get creative with your team name. Keep in mind that, again, the first person to register is going to be the one to enter the team name. So just check with your counterparts to ensure that that is the name, in fact, that you would like and to be used throughout the competition. Um, there will be a declarations page. And so, as a coach or as a competitor, there are 10 statements that you will be attesting to. And that is that your submitted materials are written by student members of the team. While you do have a coach, part of the rules are that all of the document submissions and writing samples are completed by the student member. So you will be attesting to that. That you are enrolled on a full or part-time basis during the current academic year. If in fact you are a coach, that you are a registered U.S. patent attorney or agent in good standing. If you are a competitor and you also are a patent agent, that your patent registration number be issued on or after January 1st, 2020. As a competitor, you have not been admitted or licensed to practice law in the United States. And I know we get many questions about that. So it is admitted or licensed to practice law within the US. And as a competitor, you are not a current employee of Patent and Trademark Office. We expect for you to follow all of the competition rules, and you will be responsible for checking for updates to the timelines, rules, checking the frequently asked questions that we will post, and any other competition changes by logging on to the competition webpage, which is ZFairs. All of the team members will be from the same law school, and the team coach must be affiliated with the law school. The same team must represent the school at each phase of the competition, meaning during registration, during document preparation, regional rounds, and if you advance to the final rounds at that time as well. And if there is a question about this, you can always reach out to the for the National Patent Application Drafting Committee for any questions about these declaration statements. And lastly, you will acknowledge that any willful false information provided is punishable by removal from the competition. After reviewing and positively testing to those, you will proceed and you will receive this confirmation page within ZFairs. And so make sure that your account information, you've made note of that, your name, your email. We do see sometimes that people inadvertently, type in an extra character or, fail to include all your characters for your email. So you just want to double check that that is in fact your correct email address. If not, you can go back and edit your title, your team name is complete, and your team information, which is that project key and that link that will actually be emailed to you. And so that, in fact, is the information you will share with the remainder of your team if you are the first person to register. From an email standpoint, again, this confirmation page will be emailed to you. It will come from hello@zfairs.com, and you will see your project ID as well as your name, your account information. And at the bottom of that screen, that is your project key, as well as your unique link for your team to register. So, again, if you're that first person to register, you share this information with the remainder of your team, they can click that link and just proceed with registration. So, what you can expect after registration is communications from the committee. So, it will be timeline reminders, perhaps prompts, and promoting the upcoming webinars. So, those webinar links, the notification that the invention statement and drawings have been released. Again, if any prior art is released between regionals and nationals, um, that communication will also be made available to the email that you provided. For more information or for any questions for the committee, you may email us at npadc@uspto.gov. And the link is here, the website for ZFairs. And I will make sure that you have that active link pasted in the chat for today. I do also want to share with you a few resources provided by the Patent and Trademark Office. So you can at any time take a look at uspto.gov/events. Our events page are listings of in-person and virtual trainings and events that may assist you in your competition participation. These events are open to the public and are topics such as IP basics, trademark basics, our Path to a Patent boot camps. They may be specific to some of our in-person events like Invention Convention. So it's a great way to track where USPTO is, how we are making our resources accessible to all. And again, it may also be some trainings, as I said, to help fortify your participation in the competition. We do also have our Patent and Trademark Resource Centers, otherwise known as PTRCs. Our PTRCs are typically libraries, either at the university or within a public library system, in which we have a librarian there that is versed in IP resources and USPTO resources, and they are a great place to go for assistance with patent searching in particular, which will of course, be part of your process in this competition. So if you haven't done patent searching before and you're looking for perhaps a local resource to assist you with that, the PTRCs would be a great place to do that. We do also have our patent public search tool. This is the search tool that is used as part of that PTRC experience when you are looking for that prior art. So again, these links will be provided to you. And now I will open the floor up for questions. So I am going to stop sharing at this time and check my screen for any questions. So let's just check here in the chat. Okay. So I did receive a question saying, should the coach, which is a professor at the law school, also register or just the individual student team members? So the coaches are expected to register. The coaches at their email, they will also receive the pertinent competition email as well as information about webinars for the coaches. The coaches can participate in terms of gathering information from the uh, Patent and Trademark Committee or from the NPADC committee, excuse me, um, and be able to receive the same information that the competitors or that your team is receiving. So yes, you should register for that purpose, and that will also allow us to make those assignments, and you'll have that information in your email. So that when we make the assignments for the regional rounds and such, again, you'll have that information as well. Okay. And another question. Are we allowed to have more than one coach help during the competition, such as to divide up practice sessions, or is it just only one coach can register on the website? So only one coach is allowed per team. That coach should anticipate being able to answer some of the questions about drafting claims, conducting patent searches, um, and those specific things related to the rules. We don't allow two coaches. I know that teams and coaches have sought out additional assistance through, patent and trademarks, or they may reach out to some of our other, like a regional office if they have questions, or to the patent and drafting committee. But as far as having a second coach, that is not permitted per the competition's rules. And I will check. And I know I do have some of my colleagues online. And so if I have overlooked any questions in the chat, please let me know. As a matter of just some of the questions that have been raised in prior years, um, I mentioned all of the students coming from a single law school. If you are a team that finds yourself not able to meet the minimum requirements, meaning two students from the same school aren't available, or perhaps there is um, another law school in proximity and there's just a single student that wants to join, they're otherwise able to form a complete team, you can reach out to the committee for consideration of a waiver in terms of comprising that team. It is not something by and far that we allow widely, but in certain cases where we do know that there could be, um, a limited number of students available across particular law schools, we could allow students from differing law schools to participate on one team. I'm trying to think back. Um, a lot of times there's questions that come up regarding the coach's role with the team. And again, that coach is serving as a subject matter expert. providing sort of that law experience when prosecuting patent applications. Um, However, they cannot write any part of the patent application. So the competitors and team members should be looking to the coach essentially to say, is this accurate? Am I on the right track? To ask for your feedback, but not any substantive input into that application. Mm, I do have my colleague Rochelle Reichert on the line. Rochelle, I'm going to put you on the spot just a bit. Are there any other questions that you can think of at this time that have come through either our inbox or as part of our other webinars that perhaps we can address?
Yeah, I think you've already addressed a lot of them. I think
Mhm.
the one coach is a common question. We actually have a student already that's reached out to us this year about making a team of students from different law schools.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think too, if you have a question about the rules, just email the inbox. We're generally flexible. I know last year I think we had a team where the coach had to drop out mid competition, so they switched to another coach.
Mhm.
Um, so just if you're ever unsure about something, just reach out to npadc@uspto.gov and we can help you out.
Thank you for that, Rochelle. And that is it. We do understand, this competition lasts from approximately November into the following April. Um, in between that time, there could be an extenuating circumstances that arises that may impact your participation as a team, particular team member, or coach. Um, if those extenuating circumstances arise, please reach out via the email to request a waiver or find out if there are options for continuing the competition. As much as possible, we want to ensure that you are able to participate. Again, we recognize the benefits of the competition. I would go so far as to say that our prior participants also recognize we want to, as an agency, ensure that you're able to participate and elevate you as law school students as you are future patent attorneys, and we'll be looking forward to your submissions on patent applications in the near future. And again, providing this opportunity for you to draft and have these reviewed by attorneys and by our supervisory patent examiners for you to get this real world experience on this hypothetical invention statement. So again, we will review extenuating circumstances to see if there is still possibility for you to compete or some changes impacting your team. So with that, again, I do want to close, keeping in mind that this webinar is being recorded. It will be made available and posted on the ZFairs website. If you do have any questions that we did not address today, please reach out to npadc@uspto.gov, and we look forward to having you. Welcome to the competition. Thank you.